Firefighting is a constant cycle of adrenaline and downtime.
Usually it's the senior guy.
But these days,
Pickleball, 5 minutes.
the kitchen is a place to be avoided.
No, they're ruthless.
This week on Open Record, why some Milwaukee firehouses are now the home
And it's a good way to blow off steam and just be human.
of blazing paddles,
Gets me real sweaty.
and what that says about the fastest growing sport in America. From the FOX6 studios, this is Open Record. I am Bryan Polcyn, and I'm joined by Open Record's executive... What?
You okay? I don't know.
I'm excited.
He was like,
I'm getting ready.
adjusting himself. We're on camera. Sorry.
Did I just keep that?
Yeah.
I'll keep that. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
Bryan Polcyn, joined by Open Record's executive producer, Sarah Smith. Hey, Sarah.
We're off to a roaring start.
And we are joined by FOX6 News anchor Ted Perry. Welcome back to the
I'm not
podcast,
ashamed
Ted.
of getting in a ready stance.
My favorite, Brian. Are we keeping that? Yes.
Important for this week. We are recording this episode on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. And by the time you hear or see this, Ted's latest story will be available for viewing on the Fox Local app, the FOX6 News Milwaukee YouTube channel. It's an inside look at a surprising trend inside and outside Milwaukee firehouses, the addition of makeshift pickleball courts. We'll talk to Ted about that story, but we're also going to be joined by a pair of special guests. One who's going to talk about the surge in popularity of pickleball here and across the country, who's playing the sport and why, and is there still room for you? Plus, we are going to hear from someone who could tell you about your opportunity to start your own pickleball franchise. That's right, you could. It's a real thing. The business is booming, where you can get really competitive with the sport if you choose to. All of that and more coming up right after this.
We are back on Open Record. I was going to start this with about how Ted comes in and he's always got these great ideas. He came into the newsroom about 5 minutes before we recorded this and had what was going to be a great idea, and then it kind of fell apart. However, Ted
I want to know that story. Never mind.
That's for later.
Really
Yeah.
telling that story?
But Ted often comes into my office and says, I got a great story. And this is another one of those times. And yes, it turned out to be a great story. Why don't you talk a little bit about how you found out about all this pickleball stuff?
Well, it's a story we call Blazing Paddles because never let a good pun go by the FOX6 editorial board. This summer, Carl Deffenbaugh and I played in a Summerfest tournament, a media tournament, if you will. And down there was Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky, who had not played pickleball. It was kind of his first time. And he's a gamer. He was giving it his best. I mean, he's a firefighter. And I said, Chief, why did you feel the need to come down? He goes, I've got to learn to play because all my guys play. And I said, excuse me? He goes, it's the biggest thing in our firehouses. The men and women in my firehouses, when they have time, are playing. And I said, oh, that's a story.
And Carl was like, dang it.
I was going to say, this is
I turned to Carl and I said,
I know.
Dibs, because Carl and I think a lot.
The wheels are turning.
Oh,
yeah.
there's a raccoon riding a bike.
Yeah.
My story. But
I love that insight, though, because that is how a journalist thinks, a seasoned journalist who's good at storytelling. You're talking to someone in conversation, and they tell you something, I've got to learn, and you hear story immediately.
So we set it up, and we went to Station 32 on the west side, the busiest firehouse statistically in the city of Milwaukee. And remember, these men and women are on 24-hour, 48. So you're confined to the firehouse. You can't run an errand. You can't say, I just got to go pick up some dry cleaning. No, you're there. You leave for one reason, an emergency. So what do you do when the rigs are cleaned, when the equipment is stored, when when you've got everything, you've been fed, you've been well rested, and you got to kill a few hours? Pickleball. These men and women, they're all type A. There aren't a lot of wallflowers who go into firefighting, right? These are aggressive folks in a good way.
And they want to win.
And so they clear out the rigs and they've painted regulation-sized pickleball.
Yeah, they're not like building new courts.
No,
that's not
that's
right.
the thing.
That's
We're not
the
talking
thing.
about like the fire department having the budget to build pickleball.
Right,
No,
right.
That's not what this
these
is.
are courts that are never going to host a tournament.
Yeah.
There are sewer drains in the middle of them. There's vent issues. There's a big dent in the wall where they backed the truck into aggressively once. And it's not just at Engine 32. It's all over. And we went to different firehouses. Some use parking lots. Some use an old handball court. Handball courts were the rage back in the day, and some firehouses, were built with them. But they can't leave, and they want to stay in shape. And they play some wicked games. I know we're going to have Raymond on here in a few minutes who can tell you about how aggressive pickleballers can be when they get on the court. It's a great outlet for your competitive spirit. But it was a fun story that photojournalist Eric Litzheim and I put together.
You mentioned, though, that obviously this is a busy firehouse. So this is what they do during their downtime, but it's not always downtime, especially at a busy firehouse in the city of Milwaukee. So they're in the middle of a heated pickleball game and whoop, whoop, then what?
Our engines and
And there, and so I should have practiced that a little better because that just sounded like a subway operator in Chicago.
no radio smoking all
I
around.
just missed myself.
Yeah, and so they're having this heated battle on the court, and it's going back and forth. And then the call comes in. They go. They don't waste any time. Paddles go down. Tennies come off. Their what's the gear? Their
Turnout gear.
Turnout gear goes on, and they're off. And we follow them to the emergency, which this case was a minor car accident. Clean it up. They make sure the ambulance is there. Boom. By the time Eric and I get back to the firehouse, we're hearing this as we walk in. Game back on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how competitive they are.
Did they remember the score?
They do. They do.
Really?
They,
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah, that's
know,
impressive.
come on. They can remember addresses and routes and
Yeah,
everything.
that's
They can
true.
remember the score. It does not interfere. I cannot stress this enough because we know there's going to be somebody who says they shouldn't be doing this on taxpayer. No. All the work is getting done. All the equipment is clean. All the chores are done. This is what they do.
That's what they spend a lot of their time doing is cleaning
Yeah.
equipment,
Yeah.
prepping equipment. I mean, if you've spent time at a firehouse, you know that's
Right.
a lot of what they're doing. But I've been in firehouses before where they've got 2 rows of recliner chairs and a TV with, DVDs laying around because they're trying to figure out how do we fill all of this time.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're there. That's where you live. This is your dormitory.
Yeah, it's like your house.
And
Yeah.
so you've got to find a way to keep yourself entertained.
Well, Christian Hoos is the captain of that house. And I said to him, do you ever poke your head out of your room and go, guys, go to bed? And he goes, no, I want these guys at the top of their game.
Yeah.
And if this is what keeps them at the top of their game, I'm happy to let them play.
So you played a little bit, right?
Yes.
I played with them, which I should not have done because I am still sore. And we shot that story 3 weeks ago. These
You
guys,
also had on like pants, and so I'm a little,
yeah, but
a
I
little
had
more
my pickle shoes on.
Okay. Wait, what?
My pickleball shoes.
When you
That's
said
a thing?
pickle, is that a thing? Are there regulation pickle shoes?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah. Ray will tell us more about this.
Okay.
in a
Okay,
minute.
yes, I put a pin in that one because
Okay.
that's interesting.
Well, what do you think you're going to wear?
Tennis shoes,
I would've-
cross
yeah,
trainers.
that's what I would've
Yeah,
worn,
it's not
probably.
tennis. It's pickleball.
That's well,
And
it's
that-
definitely
Popped
yeah,
up.
That's going to come up later in
It
this
is.
episode,
It
too.
sure is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you played pickleball
Not
at all?
once. No.
Never?
It looks cool.
Okay.
I've never played it though.
But you were surprised to find out both of you there are shoes.
Yeah.
This is an elementary rudimentary.
That's not like the carbon fiber.
No, this is
yeah,
the
right.
first one I picked up for $50 when I first started. to play.
$50. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh, the good
God.
ones are like
Oh.
what, 250?
Yeah,
Something
they're-
like
Yeah,
that.
what,
Yeah.
like
Go
baseball bats.
It is $1 billion
Yeah.
a year industry in this country.
If not more, I know it's growing.
I'm like fast. I can't wait to hear about all this. I can't wait to talk to him. I can't wait to our next guest. Like it's just crazy. To me.
I'm going to tell you that I have a personal friend who is now the former assistant fire chief in Milwaukee, who happens to be someone who's played tennis his whole life. He and his wife, both very competitive tennis players and ping pong players. They're good at anything with a racket. So they have a place up north. We go to visit them in Eagle River, and there's a place that people gather and play outdoors. There's 6 courts, and everybody just shows up and plays. It's a very social sport.
That's what
Extremely social.
Absolutely, we have to stress that.
So more social than like tennis.
Yeah, and here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Good
'Cause you're
question.
closer. Together?
Because
Or-
if you show up at a tennis court, tennis matches are sets, right? You play 6 games to a set.
Okay.
And if you show up by yourself and put your tennis racket down, people are going to go, what do you want? Here, it's totally acceptable. You come to a public course or a public, court, not course, and you're alone and you want to play, you simply put your paddle
It's
down.
like your quarter at a pool table.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's what it is.
And then you jump in?
And that expectation is that, and I found it when I first started playing. Our former chief meteorologist, Vince Condello, is the one who turned me onto it.
Okay.
And I decided to learn to play it. And up in Mequon, Thiensville, in the Park District there is an
Yes.
excellent, your first lesson is free. And it's taught in a gym, and they explain the rules. And it's really a great introductory, and after that it's $5 a session. So you play with more advanced players, you get to still learn the game, and so there's a reason that this sport has grown 300% in the last 5 years.
Holy buckets.
It is because it is so social and so
So then how
welcoming.
did it spread throughout all those firehouses? I mean, I'm sure word of mouth, but like, with Did they just say like one day, hey, we should just do this? And then they did it?
It really blossomed during the pandemic.
Okay.
Again,
Yeah.
because everybody
That's really
had
when it took
social,
off.
social distancing, right?
Sure.
So even in a firehouse, you're still, even if you're playing with a partner, you're still 6 feet away from him or her, and you're a good, 10 feet away from your closest competitor. So that was one of the reasons it flourished, but that's when it really took off in Milwaukee Firehouse.
But I'm going to tell you that I go to play at this court up north, and I'm an athlete. I'm competitive too, but I've never played racket sports. I don't play tennis player, no, a little bit of racquetball, but I want to keep up. So they're teaching me how to, and I'm starting to learn not only serves but spinning a little bit. And so I'm hitting these things hard, and I'm trying to put top spin on them. I'm feeling pretty good. And that was in July. I still have pain in my elbow. I got tendonitis from one weekend of pickleball.
No, it's I played high school football, baseball. I played college and rugby. The worst injury I ever had was playing pickleball, and probably because I was playing it at that time in my late 50s. I'm 61 now, and I just stopped hard and jammed my back, and I had to go through a lot of treatment. So you laugh,
Yeah,
pickleball
right,
injuries,
but
but docs are seeing a lot of ER injuries.
And if it's as popular as it is, like, of course, there's going to be people that are injured by playing.
Of course, we say all that, and overall, one of the reasons it's attractive is that it's generally a low impact, easy to learn, easy to pick up kind of thing.
Right.
And I think that's a good time for us to shift, because we talk about how quickly this thing has grown. It's not just firefighters that are taking up the sport by far. It is the fastest growing sport in America for a reason, and 4 years running, I think, at least.
And can I just really, when I was out in Los Angeles covering the Dodgers last week, I saw some firefighters at Dodger Stadium, and I said, hey, can I ask you guys a question? And he goes, oh, yeah, we all play it.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just Milwaukee firehouses. This is a thing at firehouses across
that's
the
cool.
country.
Did you notice that he was out there covering the Dodgers? Because that's the only team that seemed like they were playing. Anyway, that's a sore subject.
Don't read too much into it, Brian.
We're going to talk to Raymond Chu, Southeastern Wisconsin Association of Pickleball founder, right after this. We are back on Open Record, and I want to correct, I said Raymond Chu. It's Raymond Chow with the Southeastern Wisconsin Association of Pickleball. Raymond, thank you for being here on Open Record.
Thank you for inviting me.
First of all, Southeastern Wisconsin Association of Pickleball, you started this. What is it, and why did you start it?
So we started this about 3 years ago. There's a group of us in the Frank. We were playing Franklin Rec, and we're sitting around saying, "Oh, we missed another clinic. We missed another tournament. Or there wasn't enough clinics or enough tournaments of the type we wanted." So we decided to start this group, and it's grown from us 12. A lot of them have moved away, retired and moved away, but now we have over 1,000 members in 3 years.
In 3 years, that's huge.
It's huge.
Huge growth.
Yeah.
And what is your goal? What do you want to accomplish?
Our mission statement is really just to promote pickleball through clinics, beginner instructions, tournaments, and things like that. And it's evolved a little bit because now geographically we cover all 6 counties. So now we're trying to tie together different members, have them cross over. Hey, visit these guys down on the South Shore, visit these guys on the North Shore. So we've been holding tournaments and clinics in their areas rather than just our area.
And I salute it because I'm a fan of the sport. I am a bit of a novice in the sport, but there are those who might say, stop promoting it. I'm having a hard enough time finding a court.
It's difficult, but I'm learning more and more courts are being built every few months, like in Mequon Thiensville, who we've partnered with, just got enough money to build their own courts. Down in Racine, I just heard in Mount Pleasant area, they're building some more courts. So outdoor courts is not a problem. Indoor courts is still a little bit difficult.
Well, I was reading, there's a lot of different reports and groups that are nationally putting out reports on the industry, but there was one that was, I think the Pickler, who we're going to talk to in just a little bit, they put out sort of an industry report. What does it look like? And one of the things they said was there were more than 10,000 courts in America right now, but a need for another 15,000. I don't know if that's right or not, but it sounds like there is a great demand for more places to play this.
Sure. I mean, especially actually in Metro Milwaukee. There's no really dedicated indoor pickleball place in Metro Milwaukee. Outside the suburbs, yeah. But in Metro Milwaukee right now, we rely on gymnasiums from the public schools. That's about it. There's not too much.
And that surface is just not the surface you really want to be playing.
Not really.
That's built for basketball.
Yeah, right.
There's also this battle, if you will, schism between tennis players and pickleball players. And tennis players tend to not want to give up that court space. They don't want to share it with pickleballers.
Right.
And this has become a problem in a lot of villages. Who gets to control what courts? Let's take Whitefish Bay, where I live, for example. Clody Park has adopted some tennis courts into pickleball courts. They're not true pickleball courts. You have to remove the tennis net and put in a pickleball net. But there are some neighbors who don't like that, and they have complained they want it shut down. You can play from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. They want to reduce those times. So
when I first heard about this, there could be a pickleball controversy.
There sure can.
It sounds at first ridiculous.
Well, speaking of sounds, that's why. Imagine living next to this, okay? Now, I'm a pickleball player. I don't mind that sound, but I don't live next to a court either. I'm trying to see both sides of this
all night
argument.
long you hear that.
Well, not all night long, because it's from 8
p.m.
to 8, okay? Now, Whitefish Bay proposed, okay, let's go from 10 to 2. And at that meeting, pickleballers showed up en masse to say, no, I don't think so. They decided to table the issue for now. So who's right and who's wrong here? It's a bit of a sticky wicket, to borrow a cricket phrase. Did you move next to tennis courts and expect there not to be noise? Okay. Or did you not expect pickleball noise? It's a different thing. And I'm trying to see the argument on both sides, but there's not a resolution in Whitefish Bay yet. In Fox Point, there's a lawsuit between the town club and villagers because of the noise again. So this pops up all over the place. So there is a plenty of controversy. Carmel by the Sea in California just this week prohibited pickleball playing in all public spaces.
Have you run into any of this where you're hearing from people who are concerned about the noise or whatever it might be?
Not personally, no. But how they've tried to address it is play with softer balls. But pickleball players don't like these balls. They don't play the same and things like that. Not really. And I do play in California sometimes, and they've addressed it by putting up these very thick rubber mats that I think help quite a bit. They're ugly, but they help.
What he says about tennis, though, I thought was interesting is if I read the stats right, the number of pickleball players in America has now surpassed tennis players. Obviously, the popularity of the sport professionally and on television and revenue, tennis is still number one. Do you see that changing? Is pickleball going to overtake tennis in the long run?
Oh yeah, in terms of number of players, because every year it's growing. I mean, every year, it's what is it, like 45% growth year after year, and it hasn't.
It's not sustainable though, right? It can't be 45% a year forever. It's an amazing.
So primarily the players are still the older adults. Now it's getting down to middle-aged type people, and then sooner or later it's going to get to the young people.
Well, I would argue, Raymond, it's already there. The average age is 34.5,
right?
Which is younger. It's going down and down, and the fastest growing group that's playing is Gen Z.
Yeah.
So you're wondering what they're doing when they call in sick. They're going to play pickleball.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When most of us first heard of pickleball, that's an old people sport. It's slower. They can play it. It's easier than all that running in tennis. But because it is such a competitive sport and there's ability to play it at such an advanced level, it really has picked up. Have you seen that in terms of the age of the players that are coming out and joining your clubs or in joining members of Southeast Wisconsin Association of Pickleball?
Well, we get a request all the time to have after school pickleball, teach their kids after school pickleball. It's just trying to work out gym time. But yeah, the kids want to play it. I think I was telling you before, the PPA Professional Pickleball Association just did a Southeast tour, Southeast tour, and first of all, they had Guinness Book record attendance, over 7,000 people, and then one of the commentators noted that most of the attendees were younger. They weren't the old people. So, and he commented also, it's in Southeast Asia, it's kind of a cool sport for the young people to play. So I think that's going to come here. Right now, University of Wisconsin has their own pickleball clubs, each campus.
Yeah, I do wonder this. Is there a fear among maybe the older crowd and the retirees that were like, hey, we found something we can do and we enjoy the the kids are going to take it over?
No, I mean, I routinely play people much younger than me. And, there's different aspects to the game. I mean, the young people do like to play fast and hard. But there's a soft component to the game.
But the OGs like us like to play smart.
Yeah, right. You're right.
So what I wonder is if for someone who is watching this and they go, well, I keep hearing about this, I've never played, I know nothing about it. What do you recommend if they go, I'm interested, I want to find out more? What do you recommend they do?
Well, if you want me to plug our club,
Yeah, go ahead.
we have beginners. We're going to have beginners lessons in November. Come to our website, pickleballswap.org, and click on events, and you can see when we schedule it. And it's just 2 hours, but after 2 hours, you'll be able to play pickleball.
And I think you were telling me that you guys you charge a fee, but it's a very nominal fee.
Well, we have a drop-in. We have open play right now, and it's only $3. Our our intro to pickleball is only $25. So, and we supply the paddles and everything like that.
And to play with someone who's got the experience, that's how I learned to play. And you just pick up the games. It's almost like putting a duck in water, and as soon as they learn, okay, this is how I do it, we're off and running. On your first lessons, you're having games probably on your first lessons, right?
I always say pickleball is a very gentle learning curve.
Yeah.
After 15 minutes, you can play.
Mastery much harder, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
It's challenge to mastery.
What
obviously.
drew you to it? Were you a tennis player? Were you a different type of athlete?
Yeah, so I played tennis. I played racquetball. And I actually just moved to Milwaukee about 10 years ago. And I was looking for racquetball. Couldn't find any suitable courts. And it was always challenging anyways to find people to play with, right? And then COVID hit, and I didn't do much. And then after COVID, I heard through Facebook a group of people were getting together on a local court in Oak Creek. So we all showed up. There was about 6 of us, and we kind of taught each other. We didn't know what we were doing. We had one lady who played before, and that's how it kind of started.
But you would agree the social aspect is one of the most attractive things about that. You can show up as a single person, and you can get in the game.
Right. And have lots of fun.
Yeah.
And meet friends. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Our group used to supply the nets at Cy John Park in Bayview. Mm-hmm. And because of its proximity to downtown, we would get a lot of tourists and visitors, businessmen, that wanted to play pickleball. So they would come in, and after about 1 or 2 games, we traded phone numbers and things like that. Next time you're in town, come see me. Or if you're going to be in Ann Arbor or whatever, New York, come see me, and we'll go play pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So within your 1,000 members or whatever it is, what do you think the sort of spread is in terms of the competitive levels, from total beginners to avid players? What's the distribution like?
Well, in our particular group, it does tend towards advanced beginners to intermediates. The very advanced players, they tend to first of all want to play in a variety of places, and one of those places is either Madison or Waukesha, where there seems to be for some reason a very high concentration of advanced players.
And you said you guys actually sponsor a lot of tournaments?
Yeah, we do a lot of tournaments for charities. We did one for Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation. We did one for mental health. In the summertime, we have a tournament going on every other week. And things like that.
One more thing I want to ask about this is with all the people who are playing, there are club teams at the university level, a lot of people playing in high school, though it's not a sanctioned high school sport. But there's actually talk about pickleball one day being an Olympic sport now. Is that realistic? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
It better not replace breakdancing. That's all I have to say.
I heard it's going to come sooner or later, but there's some kind of Olympic rule where there's to be 70 nations with nationwide federations before they can introduce it as a sport.
So one day there will be a gold medal in pickleball.
Canada, Australia, it's taken off there, like
Yes.
it is taken off here as well.
Right.
So there's a few more.
Now, you mentioned that you guys, your club, you recently got, I think, 8 outdoor courts?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to lease land from City of West Dallas. We took an unused factory parking lot, and we adapted it to 8 new pickleball courts.
You say
outdoor. I'm sorry, 8 outdoor pickleball.
We're in Wisconsin. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And how does one get access to those? Because where I tend to play is down at Public Market. Right down in downtown Milwaukee. There are only 2 courts.
It's only 2 courts.
Under the freeway?
Yeah, under the
Yeah.
freeway.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But you're right. There's only 2 courts there. I'm willing to travel to West Dallas. I love going to West Dallas. So where are you, and what's the protocol for getting a court time there?
Well, we wanted to charge, but we just got so late in getting going. We just let anyone just show up and play, basically. You could reserve the courts, but that's where we held our clinics, and that's where we held our tournaments and things like that. It's best, maybe for the Oak Brewing Company. It's right behind Oak.
Oh, it's
Brewing
right behind
Company.
Oak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is great, and we have
Great
a nice
brewery. You can bring your dog. You can
wonderful-
bring your dog and play pickleball.
wonderful
That
brewery.
sounds like a good afternoon.
It was a great collaboration. They helped us with some of the funds to establish the courts and things like that, because this parking lot was in really rough shape. And 8 courts is a lot of courts. We actually were getting ready to set up for outdoor lights and things like that, but we just ran out of time.
But you said indoor, really, in Wisconsin, there's a need there. It sounds like there's a room for growth.
Yes.
In that.
Yes.
Speaking of that, by the way, the sport has grown really fast. It's become so popular. We talk about these courts that are springing up all over the place. I mentioned you could own your own pickleball franchise. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but I want to remind our viewers and listeners, pickleballswap.com.
.org.
.org. Thank you. Pickleballswap.org. That's SWAP.org. Raymond Chow, thank you very much for being
Thank
here
you.
on Open Record. We're going to talk about one of those franchise systems I mentioned. It is called The Pickler. They have 49 locations with more on the way, including 3 already in Wisconsin, Green Bay, West Allis, and Menominee Falls. Indoor courts, if you're serious about your pickleball, this might be what you want to find out more about. We're going to talk to the manager of The Pickler in the Falls right after this. Welcome back to Open Record. We are joined right now on Open Record by Marco Gergich with the Pickler in Menominee Falls. First of all, welcome to Open Record.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the Pickler. I know that you guys have indoor courts. I've heard about them because they're not far from where I live, but I don't know much else beyond that. Tell us about the Pickler and what it is and who you guys serve.
Sure. So the Pickler is the world's largest indoor pickleball franchise. We have 500 franchise licenses sold worldwide. We've officially gone international to Japan and to Canada. We have a beautiful club here that just opened in Menominee Falls off of Appleton Avenue. Green Bay has been open since February, and West Allis should be open by the end of the year. So we are the premier offering in the indoor pickleball industry.
Is it a club? Can I drop in? How does it work? If I want to take my game indoors and get better over the winter, do I have to become a member? How does it work?
So yeah, we are a membership-based model, but you can pay a day fee and kind of enter whatever programming we have offered that day.
I've been reading, in fact, Pickler as an organization puts out a whole like 50-page market research thing for people who might want to open their own franchise. So I thought, well, I want to read what this, there's a lot of data in there. You guys know an awful lot about, pickleball is exploding. And when you look at the data, I think it's just crazy, some of the numbers. I think if I read right, there's an estimate of like 48 million players potentially in the United States. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's incredible.
But it was just a few million, like maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. That's incredible growth. Is it expected to continue in that direction? I mean, is there a cap where you run out of people who are going to play pickleball?
Of course. I think the boom in the youth population is yet to occur. But yeah, it'll cap off eventually. That's inevitable.
So tell us about what do we expect if we show up at the Pickler in Menominee Falls? What do we see here? What is this place like? You know, this all started with Ted doing the story at firehouses, and they've got these makeshift courts with drains in the way, and there's things on the ceiling, and it's not an official regulation court. I get the sense that what you have going on there is quite the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. So the professional pickleball tour is deeply integrated with our franchise. So our clubs are built flawlessly. We are truly tournament ready. We have the best court surface. We have the best nets, the best lighting. We have a very dark atmosphere. The black walls, the black ceilings make just a wonderful performance environment to play high-end pickleball. With that being said, we're not completely performance driven. We do cater to beginner players and more social members, and we do have most of the high-level players playing in here. So the indoor concept is pretty new for the Milwaukee area. A year and a half ago, we really didn't have anything. We were playing on hardwood floor, which is not ideal for pickleball.
What is
So
the
we were
ideal?
very careful.
What is the ideal surface, Marco?
It's a tennis court surface.
Okay.
So we still use that indoors. So the company that we use is called Acritech. It is 5 layers of acrylic surfacing. So it is wonderful. It does not hurt the joints. It's incredibly gritty. So you guys were mentioning what kind of equipment was utilized. We do make legitimate tennis shoes for pickleball as well. So they can withstand the abrasive surface.
Are they called pickle shoes, or were you making that up, Ted? Are they called?
No, they're called pickleball
Are
shoes.
they called?
Marco,
Okay.
back me up on this.
Yeah, there's pickleball
Okay,
shoes, there's
all
tennis
right.
shoes. They're roughly the same thing. They're just designed to withstand that sandpaper gritty surface.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, so there are pickleball shoes and there's a paddle and a ball. What baseline, what do people need to play pickleball?
The right shoes and a decent paddle.
Okay.
That it seems to me that's what makes it so attractive for people starting out is the cost of entry, the barriers to entry are pretty low, right?
Right. That's right. And you don't need fancy equipment to start off with, but it does make a difference. But yeah, the right shoes make a world of difference. I hear a lot of people roll their ankles, wearing the wrong high-heeled platform shoe or like just average running shoes. We do a lot of lateral movements in pickleball, so rolling an ankle is pretty common.
The last thing you want to be wearing is running shoes on here.
Indeed.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the last thing you want to be wearing is high heels because that's what I heard when he said high. I was like,
Well,
well,
I would think high heels right next to running shoes.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair.
Pickleball and high
Marco's
heels.
absolutely right. You're going side to side as much as you're going forward.
No, that's true. And I have played in running shoes when I was playing up in Eagle River. You're right. You definitely feel the instability of having to cut back and forth and things like that. But I think that's what's so interesting to me about this is that initially this was seen as for those who are like, I can't play tennis anymore because my legs can't do that. I don't have that kind of range. These are smaller courts. I don't have to run as hard. But when you're talking about the high end pickleball, it's still a very physically demanding sport. Is that right?
Without a doubt. It's got this reputation for being easy and simple, and that's true to a certain extent. But the second the skill level goes up, the rallies last longer. It is one heck of a workout. I mean, we're exhausted in a 2-hour session.
So do you, in addition to having the courts, do you have training and things like that? Do you have, and not just beginner stuff, but do you have stuff for people who are maybe intermediate players and want to get better, that sort of thing?
Yep, absolutely. So we'll have leagues, we'll have tournaments, inter-club kind of social programming, a little bit for every level of play.
Well, can I ask about the social aspect of it? And maybe you do have this and maybe you don't. Can you get a couple beers afterward? I mean, at your
absolutely.
Place? Oh, you can. Okay, because that I think it'd be a great date night. I taught my girlfriend to play, and we want to play with other couples. And so, this is a thing you could kind of show up, do a couple, like 2 or 3 couples can all go out together, do a little round robin, and get a couple drinks afterwards without leaving your facility, right?
Yep. What a perfect night.
So wait, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm still learning clearly.
Okay.
So you and your girlfriend, let's say you're like, oh, we don't have anybody else to play with, but you really want to play pickleball. You can't play against yourselves, right?
You can. You can play one-on-one, sure.
Okay, but let's just say you're like, we really want to be a pair and play.
Yeah.
So then, can you go to a place like the Pickler and just
that's a good question for Marco.
put your little paddle down and be like, I got next?
100%. That's one of the biggest perks of joining a club.
Crazy.
Most of us fall in love with this sport, but we don't have a network to plug ourselves into to find games. Just showing up at a park is no guarantee of them wanting to play alongside you. So we have specific programming at different skill levels that we can reserve our spots. We can meet new folks. We can play with a different opponent every single time. So there's a whole world of players and friends yet to be made in these types of clubs.
Are you in it because you're a businessman who fell in love with pickleball or a pickleball player who fell in love with the business aspect of it?
The second one.
Tell us more.
I was not a big fan of pickleball initially. I thought it was boring. I didn't know anything about it. My in-laws played. They tried getting us to play forever, and I wasn't having any of it. And now I fell madly in love with this. This is a wonderful way to spend the time. It gets people out of the house. It gets them off their phones.
Yes.
We get social aspects. We get to release energy. It's amazing. We've met so many wonderful people, had so many great experiences through this sport that I'm its biggest fan.
So you obviously are an athlete, but you didn't like pickleball at first. Did you play other sports? Does it help if you have a background as a tennis player?
Coordinated? Do you have to be
if you're just somebody
coordinated?
who's generally athletic and coordinated? Is it I don't know. What do you think on that?
So I played men's volleyball in high school and in college. So sure, a tennis background would be helpful, but at the same time, certain tennis mechanics don't necessarily translate into pickleball. Pickleball is more of a bigger version of ping pong rather than a smaller version of tennis. Big swings are going to go flying out of bounds. We need both a soft component and a fast, powerful component to our game to complete the full picture.
Wait, stop. I don't think we ever talked about how the heck you play it.
Because you haven't.
I've never. I see it and I see people playing it. The ball's not supposed to hit the ground, right?
No,
It may.
No, it hits the ground. It's like tennis. One time on each side,
Yeah.
and that's sort
One
of thing, or
bounce.
whatever. Yeah.
Can you hit it?
In fact, it has to hit the ground when your serve is coming back to you. You cannot return the serve
on the
that
fly.
you've got to let that bounce.
Okay. But can you hit it on the fly, or does everything have to be
Absolutely.
After the first
Okay.
hit each way, people are whacking it right at each other.
Wackadoo.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where you get the.
And do you just
back and
keep
forth.
score like out loud and in your head? There's no like
Yeah.
So
scoreboard.
the score, I think, when people talk about it not being a hard thing to learn, the hardest thing I remember was just keeping track of
Yeah.
scoring, because you're not only keeping track of it's 0 serving 1, but also am I the first server out of 2? So 0-1-1 versus 2-1-2, and that threw me, and I think it does.
Okay,
for
you
me.
just made her eyes spin around.
Dude,
So,
So each server scores.
Brian and I are a team against you and Marco.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
I'm
gonna
starting
dominate.
things off.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to say 0-1. No, 0-0.
Yeah, I was like, wow, we already
Now
scored
we
a
got
point.
this wrong. Okay.
Marco and I are
what am I
amazing.
saying when I started off?
0-0-2.
No.
You would
not-
say your score first, then
Zero.
the opponent's score,
And
and then
which serve it is.
server you are.
Yes.
But the part that's the most confusing is to start the game, you start on server 2. That's what threw me.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So you would
Okay.
start
Okay.
with a 2 at the end.
So
'cause
you
okay.
break our serve, and
0-0-2.
now you and Marco up, and you're serving. You'll
Okay.
say 0-0.
2.
No, 1. Your first service.
Oh,
Then you.
so I'm not. I don't,
Then
you
you
don't
go
have
back
to go
and
back
forth,
to 2. Okay.
and you lose that point, but we don't get the points. Now it's Marco's turn to serve.
Okay.
So Marco, you're
Twos.
going to say
1-0-2, right?
0-0-2.
0-0-2.
Well,
Meaning
1-0-2 because he would have just
0.
gotten a point.
No, they wouldn't have.
No, Ted did, didn't he?
On the on the serve
No,
you didn't.
Yeah,
okay, you're
We
right.
broke her serve.
But he must. Marco's shaking his head. This I'm trying
Yeah.
to explain things. I don't
Marco's
understand.
saying it's a great sport and easy to learn, and we're turning into Keystone Cops over here. Play the
That's
Benny
why-
Hill. Play the Benny
Yeah,
Hill music.
right.
That's why you need Raymond or you need
Yeah,
Marco or
that's
somebody.
right.
to
But once you get it, it's
Okay, but is it like 1, 2, 3? I know like tennis is that.
Play to
15,
11.
30.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
okay.
no
Is it rally?
15.
Is it like rally scoring or not? You have to earn the point
Yes, you have
by
to earn it.
serving.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's a good question. You do
Okay.
breaking serve does not get you the point. Breaking serve gets you the serve to win a point.
To try to get the point.
Volleyball coach's question, right?
Sorry.
Good. No, that's a good
That's right.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said there's another one opening up in West Dallas. You have the one in Menominee Falls. Are you expected to see, with just Pickler alone, more expansion in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I believe our group purchased all 8 franchise licenses for the state of Wisconsin. So those will be coming online in the next coming years.
Where do you? Can you give us an insight? Because you mentioned.
I don't even have that
Okay,
information.
gotcha. But I mean, are we going to see them in Boscobel or Baraboo?
I would
or
imagine
are you just
Madison
going
has
for-
to be, right?
Madison's got to be on the list. You think Wausau would be on the list, right?
Most heavily populated cities
Sure.
are going to be
Yeah.
contenders.
Sure. Okay. Well, last question I have for you, Marco, is this: because winter is coming, and it sounds like I'm talking about like Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, but winter is coming. Are you? I mean, what is it like trying to get a court right now at the Menominee Falls place? Is it already like can't get a court? It's or is there still
Because that Marco, and I think Raymond would back me up. That will kill the sport. If you can't get on a court, you're going to start losing interest. So
That's right. That's right. So with the weather officially getting a little cooler, it has definitely gotten busier. We use scheduling software that reserves the appropriate numbers per court. Members have the ability to reserve about a week out. So we haven't run into a problem where it's been so flooded that we are unable to manage it. And we can get pretty clever on how we can open up more courts or offer different programming to get more folks in. But yeah, I don't anticipate that being a problem considering that we're still so new.
So give us a cost. Sarah and her husband, Brian and his wife, me and my girlfriend, we want to make a Friday night of it. What's it costing us? Because we're not members yet. We're going to see if we want to become members. Give us a price breakdown. What the 6 of us going in, do we reserve by the hour, by the game? What? And what's it costing us?
So private reservations, we typically do about $56 an hour. Or if you guys wanted to jump into the open play, it would be $15 for the duration of that programming.
Oh,
So you can
reasonable.
so $50
Yeah.
bucks you can
Reasonable.
reserve a right?
That's
Okay.
a date night,
I mean,
all right.
that's
And
great.
beers
Right.
afterwards. Beers and are there appetizers? Is there food? Is there a kitchen, or is it just some drinks?
We have kind of energy bars and things and drinks.
All right.
No restaurant or anything like that.
Well,
that's
anyway,
good. Beers
sounds-
on Ted.
Could you
there
bring
go.
pizza in? Would you object to people bringing pizza in?
No, not at all.
Okay.
All right.
As long as
Okay.
it's not on the courts.
Sounds like we've got a plan.
All right.
Marco
Plus, if we
Gergich.
play for money, I could make a bandit.
That's illegal.
I'll bring my
Okay.
carbon fiber racket. We'll see what happens. And my pickleball shoes, newly purchased. Marco Gergich with the Pickler. Thanks for being here on Open Record.
Thanks for having me.
And we will go off the record when we come right back. time for us to go off the record. This is the part of the podcast where you get a little more casual and have a little fun by answering a question that Sarah has prepared for Ted and me. What do you have?
Yeah, so I have a question which I'm going to ask, but then I thought off this whole pickleball thing. I was like, pickles. I like pickles. Brian hates
Brian
pickles.
doesn't like pickles.
But Ted, how do you feel about? I was thinking about all the things that have been pickle flavored that have come out. It was like the hot thing, right? Like everything was pickle flavored. Like some things I wrote down: chips. Pickle flavored chips, popcorn, ranch dressing that was pickle-y, pickle hot sauce, a beer. Pilot Project in Milwaukee has a Donna's pickle beer. There's a pickle margarita I just saw the other day at Art of Joy in Cedarburg. So how do you feel about pickle flavored things?
I don't care for any of it. And like Brian, I don't care for pickles at all. However, there is always a jar of pickles in my fridge.
Because?
Cramping.
Oh,
What?
okay.
A friend
okay.
of mine is an elite athlete, and she is the one. I also play pickleball with her. She's not so elite on the pickleball. Let's just say that. Yeah, I'm
Hopefully she's not watching.
calling you out. But it's good for cramping. So if you feel yourself cramping up
feel like
after
I've
a
heard
bike
that.
ride or something,
Yeah.
I keep it in there. And sometimes I'm like going like Quasimodo to the fridge just to chug some pickle juice. Yeah.
Wait, just the pickle
That's
juice.
just the juice.
I don't eat the pickles
So
themselves.
is it, I think because pickle juice would have
think it's the
salt in it,
salt?
vinegar?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the salt.
Yes.
So do you need pickle juice? Couldn't you just have like Gatorade with some electrolytes and stuff or
Right,
something?
pickle
or-
juice gets it quicker.
Really?
Now, science will say this is anecdotal because there's no definitive scientific evidence to back it up, but it has 100% of the time worked for me to prevent cramps. And yeah.
And to alleviate them if you're already experiencing? Or okay. So what if you are yakking up the stuff as you're drinking it? Does it still work? Because that's what would happen to me if I was trying
Do you think it's that
pickle
bad?
juice.
I
don't know.
can
It's a
get it. I
mental
can get
block.
it down for this purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I like some things that have vinegar. I like salt. I don't, and I like cucumbers. It doesn't make any sense. It's a mental block that goes back to when I was a child. You can blame me on the couch. I can start talking about it, Doc. But it's when I would
If this is a childhood trauma show.
It is. The
we're gonna
first time I ever had-
we're going to need to extend it.
like when I was a kid, if you would get a McDonald's Happy Meal, if the hamburger came with a pickle on it, I took a bite and it had the pickle, it ruined the entire
Oh, I'm
experience.
not
and I
that
was
far.
done.
I'll like if there's pickle slices on a burger, I'll eat it.
I'm fine
But
now
if,
with
if
that.
I walk
but
into
I
the
don't seek them
newsroom
out.
with a burger and fries and there's a pickle and a wrapper, I will
You
give
will
the
give it
pickle.
to
away.
I am still a
That's a
person where
gift.
if there's a pickle spear and it is touching the fries and it has soaked
don't
up
eat
the
those
fries,
fries?
those fries are for somebody
Okay.
else.
We've just entered diva status
that's-
with you.
that's-
It's not diva. It's a
Okay.
personal preference.
Here's my. Well, while we unpack that, here was my original question. If you go into one of those money, no, this is all hypothetical. You go into one of those money phone booths, right, where the fan comes on and all the money is flapping
What's your
everywhere.
strategy? Sure.
What is your strategy?
You know you're going in ahead of time? Shirt. Yep. Big shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because what I would, my strategy would be to look for where the sort of circulation is and try to.
You think you have that kind of time?
Well, I mean, you're going to see pretty quickly. It's going, and you go, where do I see a sea of things?
You're going to
coming? And
panic.
You got to capture.
There's no way.
Actually,
You're
what
not going to
I
go
do-
in there
But
with a
grabbing with
sane.
fingers is not the way.
No, that's
That's
not.
not-
Absolutely
Are
not
they
the
all
way.
the same denomination? Or are they different?
Oh,
Because now I'm just grabbing the hundreds out of the air. I'm that fast.
again, if you think, no way, cat-like
You're
reflexes.
like George Costanza spotting squirrels. How you doing that? I don't understand.
No. I say you go up against the wall and you like let it, like to your point, I guess, the wind.
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to
Okay.
get in front of the current, and then
Yeah.
that you could take the shirt this way and have it go up
Yeah.
the shirt, and then hold.
But
it
then
down.
what if it starts coming out the top and then
You gotta. I don't know. I haven't had to do this before.
Where did
so I
this
mean,
question come from?
don't know.
Oversized turtleneck, because then, it clamps the neck a little
well,
bit.
so you're just gonna wear turtlenecks everywhere just in case in the event
Well,
that
no,
you
you-
go into a phone booth.
I guess.
Money swirling.
He gets a lot of hickeys. He's often wearing turtlenecks.
That's very 1996 of you.
Kale didn't tell us what he thinks about pickles.
Yeah.
I love
Kale
pickles.
likes
unless
pickles.
they're sweet pickles.
Oh,
then
sweet
those
pickles
gross.
are the worst.
What isn't
Those bread and butter
Milwaukee pickles are a big thing, right? Are those
Yeah.
are those sweet pickles? Or are those
No,
I don't
they
know.
make both.
They're,
Yeah, they make
they're
both.
like
They make
bread
both.
pickles, right, or something.
The
like
bread
that?
and butter ones are the
Bread
sweet
and butter.
ones.
That's
Milwaukee.
Oh, that's sweet.
They make both.
Now, I
Yeah.
know you haven't because you don't like pickles, but have you been in a store where I was in Ralph's in Los Angeles because I was cramping up at night? I don't know for whatever reason, we're up and down stairs, whatever.
Tonic water.
So, tonic water? Okay.
Yep,
but you
that's
go.
what our trainer said.
Oh, okay. But if you've been to a grocery store and seen the pickle selections,
It's
there's
bananas.
too many.
Yeah.
It's the whole wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
trying
there's
to buy beer these
spicy,
days.
there's baby dills, there's yeah, that's a lot.
Anyway, we don't have any more time to talk about
Oh,
that.
bummer.
I'm so sorry. Got to wrap it up,
Just got
and
the
we'll
wrap.
be wrapping up after this. That is all the time we have for Open Record this week. If you have an issue you think we should investigate on Fox 6 News or discuss here on the podcast, send us an email at fox6investigators@fox.com. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kale.
That was very
behind
good.
the camera right there.
Don't play
With that,
ball in the house.
I'm Bryan Polcyn. We'll be back next week.